Good morning, everyone. My name is Louise from Clarity Crafts here in the UK. Welcome to Groovi Tuesday. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm just going to mumble a little bit and wait for our lovely friends to arrive this morning. I hope everybody's doing well and you've had a good weekend so far. Paul and I did a TV show yesterday at 2 p.m, which was nice because we looked at some of the artwork that you probably haven't seen for a while, which is really nice. We have another one this afternoon at 2 p.m. So it's really lovely. We've got Tina's beautiful grid border plates, which were always a really firm favourite when they first came out. So it's good to have a look at all of the lovely artwork again. So that'd be good. Good morning. Got some lovely friends turning up now, so that's great. Trying to shift my chair in, get comfortable. Hope everybody's got a cup of tea or coffee. Did everybody have a little celebratory chocolate bar yesterday for Chocolate Day, World Chocolate Day? I did have a bar of chocolate last night to celebrate. I had to. It's important to celebrate Chocolate Day. Lovely. Sound is all good. Thank you, Jane. So we have the lovely Jane in the room. She's going to be answering any questions or putting any links that I talk about on the chat. So thank you very much, Jane, for doing that. So today we're continuing with the lovely project using this lovely plate here. So that is, I'm using that for the next few weeks or so. I mean, there's so many different designs on this. It really is. No chocolate, Jane. Oh. So let me show you which plate we're going to be using. We used it last week. So last week we did all of the line art for it. Did have a few whoopsie moments, unfortunately, but I fixed it. We got there in the end. So yeah, so this is the project that we're doing. So anybody that didn't watch last week, we've just created the very basic line art using we've used two of them. So the inner one is this one here. I've just used it that way. And then we've used this one for the larger border. But yeah, they're really versatile. They could be used for, don't have to go into the square frames. If you want to just use a couple of elements on your card, you can take the elements out as well. So yeah, really, really useful. This one actually, one of the lovely design team can create these ones into lovely little butterflies. So, which is nice. And you have a Christmas one as well. So that's really handy.
Knock, knock.
Hello,
It's
Paul.
me.
Let me go back onto the front camera.
Sorry to interrupt. Good morning, everybody. Today's winner. It's just gone 10 o'clock. We've posted it on social media. And I'm pleased to announce, if I bring this on the overhead, that the winner is Sue King.
Yay.
Congratulations. You are today's winner. So I will drop you an email very, very shortly so that you can claim your prize. So there we go.
Thank you very much,
I just thought I'd interrupt. Sorry for that interruption.
No, that's all right.
We'll see you later at 2 o'clock. Have fun. Bye.
Bye, Paul. So that's nice. So well done. Congratulations, Sue King. That's brilliant. I wonder if Sue King's in the chat. If you are, let us know. And so you can hear all of our congratulations. Lovely. So let's move that to one side. So yeah, so it's 10 days of Groovi for the lovely, we've been doing it 10 years now, Groovi Tuesday. I remember I started here the following summer after Groovi has started. So I've more or less been around probably 9.5 years. But yeah, it's a really lovely, I just really love Groovi. It's just a really relaxing thing for me. And there's so many things to learn in it. It's really just one of those things, because I used to be a stamper to begin with. I used to be really messy, like mixed media kind of style. And I used to love doing scene building and building different stamps on top of the other. But I just fell in love with Groovi as soon as it started, and my craft kind of changed. I went from complete mess and paint and everything to very clean and parchment and groovy. So it's definitely a big change, but I just fell in love with Groovi as soon as it started. Because I really wanted to start doing it, but when we used to have those little Pagmano kits, I didn't know at that time, I think I was about 17, 18, I didn't know where you could learn how to do it. I didn't know anybody that was actually a fellow crafter, because I was quite young at the time, but none of my friends or anybody my age really did any crafting. But I used to find it really weird because I used to get quite bad anxiety. So it was a really lovely, crafting just helped me mellow and get out of my head and get into something else and be creative. So yeah, crafting helped me ever since I was younger. I used to always love doing art. So it really, and then when Groovi came and I joined Clarity, it was just, my dream job really. So lovely. So we've got lovely friends in the room. So I think we can start now. Let me go back onto so this is the project. So we've got 2 tools in here. So we've got the 5 needle tool around the outside and the cross, which is on the inside. So I sneaked a few tools into that, and it's lovely and orange, something a little bit different. So here is where we are at the moment. So we've done our initial line up. So you'll notice that this flower here, I've used the number 2 tool on this, and then you can see a difference. This is the number 1 tool. So you can see a big difference in how bright one is to the other. So the reason these are obviously in the number 2 is because I'm going to be doing some white work in them. And again, with the flowers, I'm going to do a tiny little bit in all of the leaves and everything, but not really enough to warrant having a number 2 tool on the veins and the leaves and everything. So I kept those with number 1, but they're just going to have a little hint of white work on the edge of the leaves. So I'm going to turn my mat around to the soft side. There we go. This is a nice clean one. I need to get a new one actually, because mine for some reason gets very at home, because I have one here and one at home, it's very messy. So, right, so we're going to turn over our work and we're just going to mellow down and craft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 4.5. First of all, I'm going to start with these flowers here. So I'm going to get my Groovi guard. And I'm just going to enjoy the process of white work. So as you can see here, let me come in a little, where's the, there it is. Oh, yes. Oh, no, wrong way. No, that's as close as we're going to get. Cool. So here I've just done some white work, but I've made a little vein in the middle. So something a little bit different than just creating the white work on the edges all the way around. So we'll start with that first. So what I'll do is I'll start with my 4.5, and I'm going to start kind of not right in the middle, but just to the side of it. And that's where my little vein is going to be. I'm just going to curve this around. Okay. And you can see there, I'll turn it over. We've got a little vein appearing. So I'm going to do those on all 4 flowers on the inside first. Just working my way around. There we go. Yeah, I can't believe where the time's gone. Where does the time go? 10 years. Wow. And we have a lovely look, you get 10% off of all Pergamano and Groovi stuff the next 10 days. So it started on Sunday. That show did so well with everybody. You all loved them, the French lace plates. I knew you would, because they are so beautiful, and you can always tell when the design team come back with like these amazing pieces of art and everything. I always love looking at the design team work when it comes in, because I scan it all into the computer so it can all go against the products on the website, so you can get some inspiration. It's so important to have inspiration as well, because sometimes our mojo does go, and sometimes looking at somebody else's creativity and looking at art and appreciating it, I've always got my mojo back after just looking at a couple of bits of inspiration either online or on Facebook, and it just gives you a little bit of an oomph. And it also helps as well. For example, every part of the design team work, they come up with all of these lovely composition ideas, which really helps as well. If you've lost your mojo and you're kind of looking at somebody else's composition, you think, oh, well, that would work, but I'll use this and this with it instead of what they've used. I like the design of it, but I'm going to use this plate and this plate. So that's always nice to use all of the inspiration that there is on the website if you want to have a look. I mean, there's always some lovely inspiration on Groovi Worldwide as well, and Clarity Worldwide if you're a stamper as well. They're just seeing all of the art that everybody else creates as well, all our lovely friends and customers, and it's just lovely to see what everybody creates as well. Yeah, I love going on Groovi Worldwide and seeing what everybody's done. So yeah, it's nice. Okay, so it doesn't take long once you get started with white work and you know how much pressure to put on. It doesn't take long at all. Okay, so I've done 3 flowers so far. There we go. And last big flower. I'll slow down a little bit maybe. If you wanted to, next week, if you wanted them whiter, I mean, I'm pressing quite a bit on this so you can see. But if you wanted them whiter next week, you could go back in the next day or when I come back on the next Groovi Tuesday. We could do another layer if you wanted them a little bit whiter. It's up to you. You are the creator of this card, so you can choose how you want to create it. There we go. What I did is with this one, I let me show you what I did. What did I do? Even though there's no I literally just did a little circle inside, so just freehand, and created just like a little, so you can see it looks different to this one now. So just creating just a little embossed dot inside kind of changes it quite a bit. So I'll just do that in all 4 flowers. Bring back my Groovi card. So yeah, so I just lightly just do a little circle so I know where I'm heading, and then just going up and down and side to side, just giving a little flower in the middle. It's been quite sunny this morning. think it's going to get a little bit warm today. But yeah, last week was really hot. I think like the weather, I think that's why I made a few mistakes, because you know when you're so hot in your brain, you kind of get a little bit of brain fog. Everything just wasn't going my way last week. There we go. So that is the inner flowers. So I think next week I might make them a little bit whiter, but I'm going to leave those to rest now. I'm just going to go back in and do these little flowers here now. So I'm going to put that one back. I'm going to use my 3mm for these little flowers here, I think. So I've always said kind of the biggest one that you can get away with, the biggest embossing tools you can get away with in the flower, then use those. Give you the softer white work then. Yeah, bring that back in. Bring my trusty Groovi guard. So just working my way around the flowers. Hope you can't hear the lorry outside. Noisy little monkey. But yeah, so how's everybody's week gone? How was your weekend? What did you do? Did you do anything? I really want to go to Hever Castle at some point. I haven't been for a while now, and I miss it. I love anything to do with Tudor history as well. So again, I'm just going to do a little circle with my 1.5 in this one. So yeah, I enjoy going to castles. I just think how amazing the architecture of all these castles in, and they're just a really lovely thing to go and see. I love Arundel Castle. That's beautiful. So big, so much to see, and it has really lovely history as well. Because a lot of the Duke of Norfolks, who you know, in Tudor times, they didn't survive long. The Duke of Norfolk in Tudor times, you know, I think about 2 or 3 generations at that time were beheaded, and they all came from Arundel Castle. So it's really lovely history there and it goes back to, they have a lot of history as in medieval times as well, like just before Tudor times. It goes back quite a long way. There was only one particular part of it when it first was built, a bit like, I suppose, the Tower of London. The Tower of London is, which flower am I on? There we are, I'm on this one. Yeah, the Tower of London only started off, you know, like 1,000 years ago. It was only one part of it, and then as the years went on, it just got larger and larger. But yeah, I've been to the Tower of London as well. Only once. I would like to go again though, and I'd love to go to Hampton Court as well. I'd really love to go there. Yeah, I would have loved to have. I wouldn't want to live in Tudor times, but I would have liked to have maybe spent the day there or something. Not too long. Yeah. Although there's only certain parts. I sometimes think it's crazy to think about. We all have ancestors and everything, but at one point, our great grandparents, and so on, lived in Tudor times. And I sometimes think about that and think, oh my gosh, what were they doing? What were their jobs? How did they survive? I just, you know, sometimes, you know, just before you go to sleep, I think about silly things like that, and then it takes me ages to go to sleep. But yeah, I just wonder about that sometimes. I wonder what their job was. I wonder what they did. And how did they manage to survive the times? But yeah. Yes, I've been to Bodiam Castle. Only when I was a little girl, though. I haven't gone as an adult, but I really enjoyed that. Oh, and Dover Castle. Dover Castle's really, really amazing. And it has quite a really good history about it as well, because obviously they were used in the Second World War as well. There's like tunnels near the cliffs or something. I went down as a child. Yeah, and they've got like bunkers almost like in the cliffs and everything, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it's castles, one of my favourite things to go and see. Just to be around Hever Castle, really. I mean, there's so many lovely walks there. It's always such a lovely day out. So we're gonna try our hardest. I'm gonna try and get my mum out and see if she can get to Hever Castle, because I think she'd love that as well. She loves Hever Castle as well, my mum. But yeah, so here we go. I've done the flowers in the middle. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do the leaves next. And I'll stick with my 3mm. We'll just start from the inside and work our way out. Let's do these up here. So just like the littlest hint, just a few flicks, like so. There we go. So just a little bit of white work on the edges. I want to give it a little bit of a shading, and there we go. So a little bit, a little bit there. When anybody crafts, does anybody ever talk to themselves when they're crafting? I do that quite a bit. I think, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it this way. Or just general things, really. Actually, it's a psychological fact that apparently talking to yourself, it does reduce stress and it makes you more creative, apparently. That's a psychology fact. So, which is, yeah, I think quite a few people probably talk to themselves, probably without realising. Sometimes you talk to yourself and think, oh, there's no one here. You think, oh, you're talking to somebody, but that person wasn't there. So you were talking to yourself, you think, oh, okay. Yeah. Sometimes I just have these really weird facts in my head. I'm just reading things on the internet, or because I did psychology at A-level. I found it fascinating. Like how a person's brain works and why they do what they do. I do find it very fascinating. So there we are. We've done the white work in the inner part now. So yes, so we've done the leaves just on the edges. We've done the big flowers, and we've done the little centres in the middle. And then we've done the little flowers again with the little centre in the middle. So it looks like a little tiny little daisy in the middle. So that's that bit. I was talking to my mum the other day. She says, it's kind of fascinating what you know about like octopuses. Because I was just telling her a few things that I'd learned about octopuses, and I know it's a very random thing to learn. Because not many people like talk about octopuses and stuff like that. It's yeah, but they're very, very clever animals, clever fish. Not fish. What's the word? What are they called? There's something for you call them. Can't remember. But yeah, they're escape artists. I do know that. They can actually, they're very, very clever. They can work out intricate puzzles as well to get their food. People have put puzzles in the tanks with them, and they can work out very complex puzzles to get to their food. And they can escape as well. They can escape their fish tanks sometimes because they can get out the smallest of holes as well. And another weird fact about octopuses, and I'll stop talking about them in a minute, but they can, they hunt their prey with other large fish. They can work in groups to flush out their prey, but scientists have actually noticed something about octopuses when they're actually doing something like that, so like hunting with other fish, for no reason whatsoever apart from just feeling like it, they'll punch other fish where they're hunting with. They don't know whether it's a strategic thing that they do or whether they just fancy punching a fish. It's weird. But I promise that's the last fact I'm going to say about octopuses now. I'll talk about something else. It was just, it was just something we were talking about at the weekend. I didn't realise I knew so much about them until my mum said. But yeah, did a little bit of gardening at the weekend as well. Got out in the garden. Obviously cleaned out the rabbits and the guinea pigs and everything. So they had lovely, fresh everything, so you can mess it up again. But yeah, we've got I forgot to take a picture of it. We've got this really lovely grandiflora magnolia out in the garden, and the flowers, when they come out, they're like dinner plates. They're so massive. I'll have to take a picture of it, and maybe I'll put it on Groovi Worldwide or something, or I'll wait until next week and I'll show you on camera, because they're massive. They're huge flowers. They actually have one in Hever, and it goes along the back wall, and they get ever so big. But the one that we've got, it is along a wall as well. It's on our it's at the bottom of the garden. But yeah, they're massive. So I'm just doing these flowers now on the outside. I'm just creating a little vein in the middle, just like that. So just, again, like we were doing with these flowers here, just creating some white work and using the little flowers. So yeah, so I'll just work on this one now. There we go. Just flicking. Yeah, it's the only thing really that's, I mean, we have our fuchsias in our, what are they called? Hanging basket. We've got our fuchsias. There's a few flowers here and there, but it's really spring that we have a lot of flowers come out in the garden. Obviously we have roses that continuously flower, and then the petals get kidnapped just before they fall. They get dried and then given to the guinea pigs and rabbits. We save a lot of the leaves before, in autumn, before they start falling. We'll kind of pick them all and then put them in bags. Well, not put them in bags, but we put them on trays and dry them. And then in the winter, they have, we'll give them to the guinea pigs and the rabbit. just to give them some extra treats in the summer, winter rather. Okay, so I think, oh no, I've got one. No, I've got 3 left. I was looking at the top thinking, oh, I think I've done them all now. But no, they're down here too. Yeah, so yeah, garden's looking good. But I mean, in the springtime, we have lovely, great big camellias, and they have loads of flowers on them. They're so beautiful. They're like we have like a little walkway where you kind of go down to the bottom of the garden, and either side you've got some lovely camellias, and they just in the spring they just flower, and they flower and flower and flower and just keep on flowering for ages. But by the time it gets to summer, all you've got is a hedge with no flowers. But we've got lots of different roses. So many different colours in the front and in the back as well. Our neighbours must think out the front, just before the petals fall, we because they're all our rose bushes, but they must think, oh, where's that rose gone then? Because all of a sudden it will be there, but then it won't. They must look out of their window at the front and think, oh, that was lovely and flowery last time I looked, and now it's disappeared. Okay, so just working our way around the flowers still. I think this is the last one I'm working on. So when we get to this flower, I've only done a little bit of white work in the middle. So kind of thinking along the lines of the fact that that's in the shadow, so I'm not putting any white work in where I think the shadows would go. A bit like if you were colouring with pencils, you put a darker pencil in that area. So there you go. So I think I've done the flowers now. Come on. Yes, I have. Yay. So now I'm going to just do the leaves. And there's quite a few leaves with this frame. There we go. Okay. For some reason the computer stopped showing me all of the chat, so I've missed so much chat. I was looking at it going, nobody's talking. Why is nobody talking? And I've just realised the computer wasn't showing me the chat, so I've just gone forward to the very end of where the chat's finished. So it's okay now. Let's do them up here actually. So again, like we did with the middle part, just doing the inner petals. So just again, just doing the ends of the leaves. And when we come in with our perga liners and perga colours, it just creates that little effect where you've got the ends are lighter. Yeah, so if I've missed anybody saying anything, I apologise, because the chat froze for a little while. So just always get lost in parchment. Such a relaxing thing to do. So yeah, we've got a nice show at 2 p.m. so that'd be good. Looking forward to that. It's just really lovely sometimes as well to see what the design team have done and see some inspiration. It's nice to have a look at things again, and because otherwise, you know, they're kept very safe in boxes. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to show them again. You know, and also the design team will be, when they watch the shows as well, they'll look at those and think, oh yeah, I remember doing that. But it's nice for the design team as well sometimes you get reminded, you know, where you've been and everything and what you did so many years ago. Because, you know, there's so many lovely plates that come out that, you know, sometimes you forget after 6-7 years what you've done all that time ago. There we go. So I'm going to do this one now. Yeah, so we've got some lovely things coming up as well in the next week or so as well. So definitely keep on watching all of the shows. I know Paul's on Hobby Maker on Friday. So he'll be showing something really exciting on Friday. And then we've got a new launch of Linda's new plates on Tuesday next week at 2 p.m. I think it's Tuesday. So that'd be good to see that. Looking forward to that. It's lovely to see all of the design team work as well that they create. So yeah, looking forward to that one as well. So just a really lovely week of birthday celebrations. I think it's so nice to see where we've come, really. I mean, I remember some of the very first plates that came out, you know, and, you know, then we had Tina and Linda join, and you've got Josie's grids and, you know, all of these different designs now, both in Groovi and Stamp, you know. Yeah, it's just lovely to see. And how many designs have come out now. I mean, we have such a large library of different Groovi plates for all sorts of different occasions now. You know, and for everybody. I mean, there's so many beautiful designs. I mean, definitely made parchment very accessible for me, and I'm sure a lot of you as well. You know, just made the first part easier, so then you can concentrate on learning all of the lovely, gorgeous other stuff. You know, and there are so many techniques to parchment and everything. You know, we'll be covering all of that lovely techniques that you can learn over the next few years and everything. So lots and lots to learn. So many exciting things ahead. So I'm just working on the prep for the colouring course at the moment. So that's coming on a treat. Looking forward to doing that. Gonna put a few techniques in the colouring course. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, there are so many different techniques to learn in colouring. We're not going to be able to cover them all because, you know, you can't cover all of the techniques to do with colouring and painting and everything in 3 modules. So, you know, there will be lots of extra courses coming that will help as well. But we're going to learn a lot in the colouring course. We've got so much to teach. Yeah. Just doing the leaves. I think after the leaves, more or less done. I mean, I didn't put any leaves in my original one on the outside, but I thought, why not? I'm going to do them in this one because I like doing something a little bit different than my original project sometimes, because I think it's important. Like, then I'm showing you 2 different ways of 2 different ideas. So I just like changing it up a tiny little bit, even if it's just white work on the edge of leaves. I kind of put the odd leaf or anything because there's a bit of a gap here, so I've just put a leaf here just for the fact that I think it doesn't look so bare then. You know, even if it's a tiny little element, it just breaks up a gap. Yeah, so I think on yeah, Wednesday, where are we to tomorrow? Wednesday, isn't it? So yeah, Groovi Tuesday today. Just remembering my days. So yeah, some exciting things to see this week. But yeah, I remember when Tina's border grids, they first came out and everything, it was a real game changer for me because I was still learning at that point as well, and seeing all of these different ways of creating all of these different borders, because not only can you buy the grid borders, but you can buy this really nice II book that Tina's got, all this lovely artwork that she did, creating all of the lovely border grid designs and everything. So it's good if you wanted to just practice all of these different ways of creating some grids around the outside. Those border grids are perfect because even though they're just one line, and I think there's 6 different designs, but there's one long line of each. There's nothing stopping you from creating your own larger grid border. Putting a couple of those lines together to create a larger grid pattern, a bit like how lovely Josie's grids are. You can use them together to create larger borders. So yeah, they are good to show. But yeah, I think the real game changer this weekend and yesterday was the lovely French plates. I mean, I really enjoyed working with those. I mean, they're right up my street. I love that lovely lace look to parchment. So yeah, those plates are absolutely gorgeous. And and the design team just really make them look amazing, more amazing than what they are anyway, because of all the different techniques that they show. You can really do a lot of lovely artwork. So we're nearly there, I think. Yes, it's got those to do now. So we are getting there. There we go. Just sometimes it's just, I just find parchment very, very therapeutic. Crafting is therapeutic anyway, but I think because parchment is such a process and it can take a long time to complete, I could just kind of, you know, get lost. I mean, there's lots of different, I mean, sometimes I can work on a project for a few hours, or I can work on a project for a couple of days, you know, with quite a few more hours. Yeah, so it can really take time, but that's the thing. I think with parchment you have to enjoy that process, because it is a long process, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can create some lovely groovy work from just creating a line art with a bit of colour and then just cut it out with a paper trimmer or guillotine or whatever you use, craft knife and ruler. You know, you can create some lovely work just like that within, you know, as long as it takes to really do the line art for the project and a little bit of colour, cut it out, and then you have a lovely project like that. But, you know, to actually enjoy the whole process, which can take a long time, it's just a very, very therapeutic craft. Where are we now? There we are. We are here. Okay. And you've got a couple more weeks and well, a month actually, and I'm going to Cornwall, which I'm looking forward to. First holiday in a long time, since before COVID. So it'd be nice to have been to Cornwall in such a long time either. You know, it's a beautiful place. And I'm going to go to St Michael's Mount, I think, and Perranporth. So hopefully it's lovely weather when I go down. Not too hot, but not raining. Yeah, so there's lots to do down there. I think St Michael's Mount, was that where there was a film, was it Dracula that was filmed there, I believe? It looks very mystical on its little island all by itself. So yeah, so hopefully going there. Probably go to the Eden project as well. That'd be nice. Never been there before. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Perranporth. Apparently it's really, really beautiful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going there. There we go. So that's the white work done, I believe. Yep, all the leaves. Yes. So I think just to finish up, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mat onto the hard side again, and I'm going to get my plate mate and my straight grid, and I'm just going to in these double lines here, I'm just going to put some nice little dotty effects, which I love doing. Where's my Groovi tool? Okay. So I'm just going to line it up like I normally do, just between the two dots either side, so then you know that it's perfectly lined up. And once you've got it lined up, you can use your Groovi tabs to stick it down, which I would normally do. I don't, sometimes I can get a little bit lazy and I'll just go zit. There we go. So yeah, makes it a little bit different. I like that effect. I seem to use it a lot in projects as well. Oh, there you go. I've got some Groovi tabs on my tool caddy. There we go. So just gonna line it up again. Just put a Groovi tab there and there. This looks nice. I mean, you can, you know, even if you didn't want to do every hole, you could do every other hole if you wanted a little bit further away, which looks quite nice. Or you could do different patterns. So you could do two, it'd be like dot dot dash, dot dot dash, and then say you wanted 3 there or 2 there. You know, that looks a little bit different. I'm going to do every hole. There you go. That's the other side. If I lift it up and you can see the front around the edge here. And there. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up again so you can see a dot either side of the 2 lines, and then that gives you the perfect line. Okay, I'm just having a look at the chat to see what everybody's recommending that I go and see in Cornwall. Nice. The Minack Theatre. Oh, is that in Cornwall? Do love the theatre. I always remember going to the theatre and watching. Well, when I was a kid, I think we went as a group. We watched. We watched Cats. I remember that. I've also seen. What else have I seen? Oh, Phantom of the Opera. That was good. I've watched ballets as well. I quite like watching ballets in the theatre. That was nice. I do want to see. I would like to go to the theatre and actually watch Wicked in the theatre, because everybody that I've ever spoken to that's gone to it has always raved about it and said it was fantastic. And I must admit, I have loved watching the film. I mean, at first I thought, oh, it's a bit too much singing, but because I do love my musicals, but sometimes there's a point where I'm thinking, oh, a bit too much. But actually, I've kind of got past that, and I've thought actually it's really quite a nice thing to probably go and watch in the theatre. So, because I always, as a kid, every Christmas, we always used to watch Wizard of Oz. You know, it was one of my favourite films growing up. Yes, you can use the light wave. It is easier if you can't see the dots. Using your light wave is really, really a lot easier, especially if you're working with coloured parchment or designer parchment, and you want to create that lovely dot effect, because that would look really pretty against your designer parchment, this lovely dotty effect, because it really makes it pop out white. So yeah, I like that. That's nice. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera was brilliant. I love the bit at the beginning when the chandelier kind of like starts off under a dust sheet at the beginning, and then it comes right up to the top of the theatre, and with the music and everything. The music was always so beautiful. Absolutely love the music to Phantom of the Opera. I had a CD in my car, which I used to like sing to in the car sometimes, because I loved it that much. You know, just in the car, just singing along to Phantom of the Opera while you're driving. Other people my age were listening to like pop music and everything, and really cool stuff. And yeah, they're probably looking at me going, oh, okay, she obviously likes the theatre. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I actually love listening sometimes to relax me, soundtracks to musicals or things, or even soundtracks to films. I love listening to there we go, that's all done now. I love listening to Gladiator music, Harry Potter music, Lord of the Rings music, all of that really gorgeous soundtracks to films. Epic. Titanic, for some reason. I love Titanic music as well. I just think it's so it's really dramatic music. I love listening to soundtracks. Another one is I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a film called Memoirs of a Geisha. I absolutely love. It's a Japanese film, obviously, but I love listening to the music. Japanese music, for some reason, is just so soothing. It's so beautiful. So I have that soundtrack as well, which I sometimes, if I'm relaxing in bed and I'm trying to sleep, I'll put some music on, and usually it's Memoirs of a Geisha, because it's just like that relaxing music to me. I'll fall asleep just like that. But yeah, so that's where we are now. So we've done our white work. Next week we may do a touch up to the white work, just to make it a little bit whiter. So yeah, and then we're heading to using our colours, so like our pergoliners and our perga colours. So bits and pieces like the red roses here were perga colours, but the lighter colours that you'll see on this project were pergoliners. So yeah, so there's a mix that I use. So if you have both, then that's great, because or you can just use your perga colours or just use pergoliners. It's up to you. So yeah, so we'll be colouring next week, just finishing off a little bit of the white work. Yeah, and that's where we will be next week. But it was really lovely to have your company. So me and Paul are back at 2 p.m. For a lovely show with Tina's Border Grids, and also Josie's PTCs, which are really lovely. So they were a couple of years ago as well. So some of you may not know that Josie did some PTCs as well. because obviously we had those lovely small mini makes a little while back in February, which are really beautiful. They've got their own little plate mate and everything. But Josie's got some A5 plates, A5 square plates that have got these lovely PTCs shapes on them. So yeah, definitely, if you haven't got those, have a look on the Clarity website, because it's 10% off at the moment. So, you know, grab a bargain while you can. And it's obviously all on Pergamano and Groovi stuff. So perfect timing really for that. So yes, definitely have a look. And if you haven't got those, they are really, really good. But we'll show all of the cards and the design team stuff then. So yeah. So I will see you at 2 p.m. if you can make it with Paul. But thank you so much for your company. It was lovely. Thank you very much, Jane, for keeping everybody entertained in the chat and answering any questions or putting any links up. Thank you. So yeah, see you at 2 p.m. Take care. Bye.